Hey there, it's Boots Owen here. This is an AEG OKO Lavamat 74620 update washing machine. Notable for the fact that it's got the drawer on the right rather than the left. In this case, it's full of stones and leaves. That's the way things are. This machine has seen better days. And let's address the first question that people will have. Yes, you could repair it. No, I'm not going to. Because around where I live, if it's got rust, you can't get any money for it if you try and sell it. Then, second to that, the drum is completely wrecked. So either the bearings are gone or something worse, which means that well, we're going to find out in this video. We'll see what's wrong with it, because I want to take it apart and get the inner drum out, because then we can use that as a fire pit. I also want to strip the circuit board, which is somewhere down on the back. Down there, I want to strip that out and just look at that myself, and I want to get the motor off, and I think I'm going to take off this cast iron bracket as well. And I'll take the element out. I won't take everything out. Anything that's plastic I probably won't bother with. But I'll just strip through it, put the camera up on a tripod and see how I go. I'll start by taking off the fascia to get the silver drum out. I think I need to get the front off to get that out. So I'll start by pulling this out. I'm not sure. Yeah, there we go. It's full of stones. It's really useful for me. Okay. Couple of screws here, all rusty. So yeah, there's no point in even pretending that this machine is worth repairing. If you really hadn't got a machine, hadn't got access to a machine, then you could try, but they're 10 a penny broken used machines where I live. So with that in mind, there's just no point in getting them. So the 4 screws come out of there, this swings out, and then it should shake off to the left, like that. There's some kind of a computer board in the back here, and it's got a strip connector on here, so it comes off like that. If you wanted to save it, you could. I don't even know if I'm going to open that. There's LEDs and stuff in there if that was your cup of tea, but I don't want them. Next up, some more screws. 3 more. I'll take off this selector as well, just because I'm here. The noise you can hear in the background is a dishwasher discharging. So that swings out and up. There's a selector with a control panel on it there. I'd like to put on some gloves, I think. This isn't going to get any cleaner. Now I may need to lie it back to get underneath that fascia to lift this off, but I don't. Yeah, I think it's probably screwed on below, so let's turn that over. Top loose anyways. Okay, this fascia comes off somehow. So in here is the filter. There's a couple of screws, 3 in fact. Might be all 3, or we might only need to take 1 out. I don't know. Yeah, you need all 3 out in this case, and then that pulls off, and there's a hose in here which goes to the drain off. Is that going to come off? Yeah. So close that up in case there's water in it. I don't know that there is. I think I've drained this one down before. 2 more screws for the fascia. I imagine it's still secured by the rubber. It's the rubber on the door seal. Yeah. So then after to get that off, we need a screwdriver, flat blade. Put that in. You see that? Put that in here. Peel this door rubber off. In. Fascia lifts off with the door. Then we're into it. Door lock, that was released earlier. I'm going to strip out the wiring, and I'm going to strip out the computer board or the circuit board. They're the only bits I want. So let's try and keep the wires, well, I don't really need to keep them intact for most of these bits. This board looks like it clips on below, so release that and then pull this up. That's the board off. The motor, I'm interested in the speed control on these. I'm just clipping some cables here. I'm interested in how the board links to the motor, so I need to keep those wires intact. To get the motor off, I need to come from behind. There's a selector up on top, so all of these are just cables that I'm gonna cut. I don't know if I should. It'll take a bit of time to rewire them. There's kind of a ribbon cable and some regular wires. This plastic strip here goes to this thing here. You can't see that, can you? It goes to this little knob here. So if you open up that the drain drawer, if you turn this, I think, let's get the screwdriver. If you turn this anti-clockwise, it tensions that plastic and it releases the door interlock if you can't get it off by other means. Just releasing the little clips for these cables if I can. That's them out and up on top. What else can I do while I'm in here? Plastic on there. I'm not sure what's securing this concrete on, so while I'm in here I think I'll release this bracket that's holding on the front rim. It's down here, and I'll try and lift off this because that will make it all a lot lighter. It looks like a 6mm. Yeah. 6mm Allen key. This isn't going back together, so I have no worries if I don't keep any of the bits or that. Stuck up the soap drawer up on top there. There we go. It's the door ring. Let's try and lift this out. I've got the drum there, so... Oh, it's still quite stuck. There's a seal on it. There we go. Just breaking that seal with the screwdriver. There we go. That's heavy. Because it's got a load of concrete properly, like, cast in situ. Yikes, that's heavy. I've not seen it done like that before. Right, so then we're up to this point. I think that's really kind of as far as I need to go on the front, so we'll get it back up on top. I don't know if I really want that piece of cast iron off the back. It's not... Cast iron has a slightly higher scrap value, but it's still nothing. So on the back is a bolt. Looks like a 13 or a 14. See what we've got there. No, 13. So 13mm. That's it. It's easy to take this off because the drum is seized inside that tub. Okay. Maybe a screwdriver. Just want to get it off. I don't want to keep it or anything. And then, if I wasn't doing this on a camera, I wouldn't move it quite as much, but because I am. There's the problem with this one. Completely rotten spider. It's in a bad way, that. It's just completely corroded and broken off. We'll have a look at that. We'll have a look at that later. In here, there's quite a few stones because I've put them in. They're little stones that have just gotten in there. That bearing is knackered, but the bearing is one part of the problem. The spider's the real issue, and that machine's, without a new drum, it's not going to run again, and to get a new drum for this would be insanity. So I think what I'll do is I'll put the front back on. I want to get that motor out. I think I get that out from the back, so I'll put the front back on, just put a couple of screws in it. Put this drum back on actually as well while I'm here. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so this is cast in two parts. So the concrete's on one bit, and then this ring is on another. So they all clip together whenever you're fitting them with that clip. So if I put that the other way around, what I'm going to do is just dump that on top. I'm not going to put the clip back on, but I'm going to hope that the front will just hold it all in. Hopefully not smash the door. But equally, I don't really care. A couple of screws on the top and a couple on the bottom. Get them back in. Alright, a couple on the bottom. This hook's on the right, and then just falls in. And I'll just put one screw in to keep it in position. That's enough. Now, I'll put the top screws in. Hopefully that will be enough to stop it coming apart. I don't think that's the right screw. I just want it to go back together, but I don't want it to come apart later. There we go. Okay. And the thing is that by having it as a cube, that's that concrete falling down. By having it as a cube, it's easier to manage. Right, that door's not going to work like that. Better take it off. What's that stuck on? I don't know what it was stuck on there. It's got some kind of hooks on it or something. I don't think it's meant to work like that. I'll fit in here. Yeah, I don't want it. Fascia. This is just going back on for structural strength. How did it go on? On top or on the bottom? Don't know actually. Alright, a couple of screws in that. This is just to hold it together while I get it to the scrapyard. More over this side. Probably can't see that. Right, then wanted to get in the back, I'll turn the machine around. So I wanted to get the motor controller. That's this piece. It's easy, it just comes out like that, okay, and the motor is down here, a couple of 13 mils again. Right. That's the element there. I don't really want that, so I'll just cut the cables on that. That's on really tight. Yikes, we're gonna need a hammer on that, I think. Yep. It's the motor's bearing on that as well now. It's resting on the cables from the element, which I'm not worried about. I want to save the cables on that end, so let's lift it up. It's an earth, it's a temperature sensor cable. Another earth, another element cables. Okay, it's quite a lightweight motor, that. That's the door interlock in the front, and what's here. Let's just cut them, because I don't care. At this point, these ones, I think I've cut at the other end anyways. You see what I'm doing? Right. So that's... Oh, I've still got stuff up on top, right? Bring it up again, have a look on the top. The motor down after all that care. Power in, let's see what we've got. That's the capacitor for mains filter. There's a big solenoid switch here that I might keep. Let's cut the wires on that. Is. I'll keep that. I don't know what it's for, but you don't see it on most machines. There's the pressure sensor. Okay, and then these cables over to this side. What have we got over here? Let's cut these. Okay, I think we're out then. Alright, so that's the motor and controller out and some wires. I'll take that filter off as well. That's what it looks like. It's a mains filter. It stops radio interference when you run the motor. It's just a big capacitor, well, small depending on where you're coming from. It's just a capacitor, but if you're going to reuse the motor, it's worth keeping it. Get the power cord off. It's held on with a screw. It. These all look very much like parts out of a Miele. I don't know that AEG and Miele are connected. Maybe they were in the past. AEG is Electrolux now. Comes under the Electrolux group, but I don't know about this machine. When this one was made or that, if it was Electrolux or Miele still, I don't know. Right, so any of the bits you don't want, if you're going to scrap it out, you might as well just throw them in underneath. There's that shaft, quite beefy, a lot of rust on the inner bearing. And the other thing I want to take off is the paddles. So how do I get them off? I'll just kick them off somehow. Bend out these tabs. Actually, let me push the plastic paddle in. I think they're catching. Is that correct? Don't know. What does it look like? Yeah, they're snapped in as well. So that's it. That one done. Just fold these tabs back in because they're liable to catch your fingers. I won't show the other ones because they're going to be the same. So this is an AEG machine, but a lot of other machines will be similar. You've got to get into the machine. You've got to get inside the drum. Sometimes it's screwed around, sometimes it's welded shut with it's plastic but it's welded, and I've put up other videos of how to get drums out of a plastic welded one. You can just use a hammer to smash the plastic. It's not very elegant, but it does the trick. Gets you in, gets you what you want, and then you wind up with a fire pit. Take off all the plastic. I'm not going to worry about those bits of spider on the back because they're metal. If there was a way to snap them off maybe, but look at the damage that too much soap does and not enough boil washes to clean it off. It just eats through that aluminium until it's so thin that it snaps. It's crazy. Right, there you go. Any questions or comments, leave them below. Otherwise, thanks for watching. See you later.